What's up, everybody? How are you doing? And welcome back over here to Pepe La View, you new viewers, returning viewers, and you subscribers. As always, you know I have to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for, just stopping by and being a part, for just participating, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, like all of that. And I am truly learning that it is because of you all that I am able to do what I'm able to do, and I do appreciate that. And yes, I know there's a whole lot of drama going on with some R&B divas out there, and yes, I will talk about it. Just pretty much haven't had the opportunity to just sit down and do it the way I want to do it. However, I do want the videos to continue. Yes, I do. And we're going to continue talking about R&B divas, and we're focusing on the Soul Train Music Awards. Why? Because, well, Soul Train is R&B, of course. And so we're going to continue to talk about the Soul Train Music Awards with what we have here. We have the best album. Yes, that's correct. I'm sorry about that. We have the best album or R&B soul album of the year female during the 1996 Soul Train Music Awards. And of course, as you can see, the titles of these categories are changing, and that's going to be something that's going to be consistent, of course. And so, well, let's talk. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I don't know, I get a good feeling about this one. I don't know why, but I kind of like it. I don't know. I know we've kind of discussed, or you guys in the comment section have discussed, I think, Faith Evans and Mary J. Blige as far as, how do I want to say it? Well, was Mary J. Blige influenced by Faith Evans, or did Faith Evans influence Mary J. Blige? Oh my gosh. I'm not going to go deep into that. I think that's a video worth talking about on its own. But I guess that's why I feel good about it. Not only that, but Monica is here. I like Monica. I like Monica singing. I do. She's definitely a diva who I love the fullness and the depth of her voice. I do. It's rich. I know. Maybe we need to do a Monica in a Brandy video. Maybe I should do that. But I don't know. I hate to say it, but I keep hearing people talk about Brandy as far as that she's the vocal Bible. I think that's the title that either fans or maybe some people in the industry has given her. And that's fine. I just don't see it. So I really and truly need to check out Brandy as far as like really get into her singing style. I know she can sing, but people continue to say like she can sing, and I just don't see that. To me, I think if I had to choose between Brandy and Monica singing, it would definitely be Monica for me. It's just what it is. And then we have Mariah Carey over here. Listen, when I see Mariah Carey in this category, and then I see Faith, I see Mary, and I see Monica, I don't know. Is it me, or do you guys see it? That maybe, oh gosh, you know how I feel about saying certain things about people over here. I try not to, but she comes off kind of cheesy to me. I know. Mariah Carey, she does. And I talked about her in a previous video when I was saying that maybe her first CD was more soulful. But I do like, the Emancipation of Mimi. I like that record. But to me, it seemed like she's definitely going towards 80s diva, Mariah Carey. And she's going more towards pop 80s diva to me as far as her look is concerned. And it's unfortunate when we look at these four ladies, and let's just look at the three, Monica, Faith, and Mary. Well, it's Mary's second CD, right? It's My Life. And I think she shows up on the 1996 Soul Train Music Awards because My Life was released like the latter part of 1994, if I'm not mistaken. So by the time it had to be maybe November or December of 1994 for her to show up in the 1996 Soul Train Music Awards. That means she probably had the whole year of 95, to do, what she was going to do on the charts in order to make it over to 1996. It is what it is. But this is Mary's second album, so she hasn't yet. You can see she's changing. Her trend is changing. Her style is changing, but it's similar, but I guess you would say a little bit, it's more glam. It's definitely not the Mary we see now, not her style, but she's staying consistent with it, but she definitely is stepping up her style for each album. She's doing that for sure. And then, of course, Faith, it's been her first album, and then you have Monica, it being her first album, and maybe they just don't have the budget, to create that style that they probably want to have. And unfortunately, I hate to say it this way, but they're coming off Monica, Mary, and Faith as kind of basic. I hate to say that word, but it's a good word here. And when I say basic, like they're looking like, hey, they have not become, I don't want to say this word because it's definitely not a word, but I would say divified. Like they haven't became divified. But of course, Mariah Carey, as you can tell, she's definitely divified. Like this would be in 1996. Mariah Carey released records in 1990, right? And then she quickly released another one in 1991. I do remember those two. So I'm going to assume she released another record in 1993. 1993, maybe 1995. Let's just say Mariah Carey at this moment in time, she's definitely on her maybe fourth or fifth album is where I'm trying to get to, because Mariah Carey was definitely spitting out albums, like very quickly. Like they did not waste any time with her, albums. And I really and truly do appreciate that. Now that I think about it, I don't think that I got tired of Mariah Carey. Sometimes when you keep releasing records like that, people will get tired of an artist. But I have to honestly say, even when Mariah Carey had her slopes in her career, I never said, oh my gosh, like, go away, let me miss you. Like it was always very pleasant to see Mariah Carey, and it still is, believe it or not. I think, to me, Mariah Carey has become more shallow. I hate to say it that way. Like, Darling, that type of Mariah Carey, like Darling, and who was it? Kamora Lee Simmons, who would say Fabulosity. Like, I became disinterested in Mariah Carey when she became that diva, because I knew she didn't start out that way. And so I was like, okay, you're being a little, I see through the facade, Mariah Carey. And then when you noticed that her voice was changing and she was hitting her higher register a lot, I don't know. I don't know. It was just something about it to me with Mariah Carey. It was like, I'm showing off. Yeah, I just can't get it. But anyway, I don't know if you guys noticed that about Mariah Carey or not. And maybe it's because the category of singers that she is actually in. Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Mariah Carey show up in one of my videos with, who was it, Lisa Fisher, Toni Braxton, Mariah Carey? I think, no. Mariah Carey showed up, but she didn't show up in that one. That was the one I was about to name was Whitney Houston. Was it Whitney Houston, Lisa Fisher, Natalie Cole, and Toni Braxton? Mariah Carey showed up in another one. I wish I could remember which one she showed up in, but she definitely showed up in one. I know she showed up in no, it was Lisa Fisher, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, and Natalie Cole. She showed up in R&B Divas of 1991, 1992, and she showed up in R&B Divas of 1991. And I guess because of the way she looked with Whitney Houston, Lisa Fisher, and Mariah Carey, it seemed like she was in good company. Oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's something that's kind of out of place with her here. And whatever it is, it's definitely making her look cheesy. I hate to say it that way. And so now what looks like was cheesy in Mariah Carey's defense, then it could be that the other ladies are looking too generic while Mariah Carey is coming off, like darling, that Mariah Carey, But anyway, I know we're talking about albums, but that's just something that I noticed, when I saw these pictures together. I was like, Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Well, anyway, as I said before, Mariah Carey's fourth or fifth album, Monica first album, Faith first album, Mary J. Blige's first album. And I like that for the most part, these divas are still around. So congratulations to them. Also talking about Mariah Carey, I also like the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember when Mariah Carey started to tour. But I was also digging Mariah Carey because, for a while, she was racking up a whole lot of hits. She was racking up a lot of record sales, and she never toured. And I would often tell people, who had something negative to say about Mariah Carey, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. She got these number one hits, and she has all of this money, so on and so forth, and she hasn't toured. So you guys have to respect that. And I still respect it today. I can't remember why she never toured. I don't know why. I remember something about either she was did I read somewhere where she was afraid to, I don't think it was fly, or was she was afraid to perform or something, or she had performance anxiety. I don't know. But anyway, it is what it is. Wow, that'll be a good video to talk about. Well, anyway, let's talk about these albums, because that's what we do over here. As I said before, with the Mary J. Blige album, I love it. The My Life album, just very heavily sampled. I think it did great. I think we were so looking forward to Mary J. Blige's album, to the point that when it did finally come out, I was like, nah, you can keep it, Mary. I like it, but I always like the first one better. I like the first album better for whatever reason. But I have to tell you this. When the second album, My Life, came out and I purchased it, I did not play the first album at all. I don't. But I think out of all the albums, I like the first album by Mary J. Blige. Isn't that something? You know what? Here I am. I'm learning a lot about myself musically as I do this, you guys. Like, sometimes I come to a conclusion. I'm like, I don't believe that. Or I liked something in the past, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I did like it back then. But anyway, it's what it is, right? So now we have Mariah Carey's Daydream, right? That album. That album I don't have, as you guys already know. By the second album, I pretty much stopped purchasing Mariah Carey's albums. And that's fine, because I knew that I was going to like her singles when they came out. And I knew that the singles, that's what it was. I knew that the singles that they were going to release with Mariah Carey were probably the best songs on the album. So that's why I just never rushed out at that moment in time. I kind of learned that the hard way. Sometimes you'll buy, when they had cassette singles out, and you'll buy those. And then let's say, for instance, I give you a prime example. You remember the group Jeanne, right? When Jeanne came out, I remember I purchased the single, what was it? Hey, Mr. DJ. And then I purchased the other single, Groove Theme. And I remember finally getting around to purchasing the album when they brought out, I think, released the song Sending My Love. And when I finally purchased the album, I was like, well, these are the only 3 songs I like on here anyway. Like, I didn't like Jeanne's album that much. And I'm saying all that to say is that, I learned the hard way sometimes, you might want to wait, 3 or 4 singles before you purchase the album, So anyway, I like Always Be My Baby. I think that would be my favorite song on the album, Always Be My Baby, as far as releases are concerned. I didn't care too much for One Sweet Day. I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't know how old you are back at that time, if you were born, to like really see the year 1996. I'm not sure of that or not, but I will say this one thing for sure, is that there were a time when the records were definitely being dominated on the charts. Certain artists were, they were dominating the charts, and they was dominating the charts for several weeks and months. And I remember One Sweet Day being one of those songs that was on the charts forever, right? And I was like, and I kind of got worn out with Boyz II Men, and the fact that she shared that single with Boyz II Men, I was like, yeah, you can keep that and the Boyz II Men song, any of the Boyz II Men songs. Yeah, because I you would hear them so much. So yeah, But anyway, nice record though. One Sweet Day, nice record. Love it a lot. Yes, I do. But Always Be My Baby would definitely be the song for me. Yeah, Dream Lover was good. It was good. Not Dream Lover. Why am I saying Dream Lover? I said that. I should have said Daydream. I am sorry about that. I know I should like Fantasy. I should, but yeah, it's nice. But if I had to choose, I would choose Always Be My Baby. And so that means we go to what? Faith. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm definitely going to do that video. Oh gosh, that's why I'm not going to talk much about it here. Oh yes, I can feel it. I need to write that down so I can do it. Faith Evans. She comes out with Faith, her first album, right? Yeah, I think it's Faith. And well, let me say some things about Faith that I kind of like. You're not really stretching it enough for me. And it would definitely be her albums, as far as her albums titles. I know of all the things I could talk about, talking about her albums, but I kind of got tired of the faith, keep the faith faithfully, something about faith. I don't know. I just don't like when artists do that to their albums, titles. It's kind of like, what's her name? Selena Johnson. All of her albums for the most part are chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. Like, really, you're going to do this to me. Like, I can't take it. I like you, Selena, but you're going to have to get away from naming your albums chapters. Like, isn't it interesting just some things that probably would turn one person off. I mean, turn a person on, turns another person off. That's interesting. And of all things, album titles, but it did. I just felt like it lacked originality. I know it was a play on the word faith, and it's looked like it was real decent at the time, but I was like, nah, not for me. I can't do it. Don't ask me to. But anyway, the album itself, great for the most part. I have to honestly say I couldn't get into Faith like I wanted to, because I just feel like she streamed Mary J. Blige. So I couldn't do it. I know everyone is saying, everyone and their mother and father. They're saying, oh no, she wrote for Mary, and she didn't copy Mary. Mary is copying her. And that could be true, and we will talk about that in another video. Just let me do a little bit more research on that one because, I have to, be in a mood to talk about certain things when it comes to R&B divas. I think you guys should know that by now. But You Used to Love Me, I think she has a song on there called Give It To Me, are two songs that I definitely play. I don't care for Soon As I Get Home. I'm going to tell you why I don't care for Soon As I Get Home. It just doesn't make any sense to me, that song. I know you're like, what? It doesn't make sense to you. Because you have to understand that a person such as myself, I would listen to music so much so back then that when I heard the song Soon As I Get Home, I'm thinking about Babyface's song, what is it? Soon As I Get Home from work. And I was like, come on, I like it, but you're biting off Babyface. That's how I looked at it. Sorry, it's just what it is. I don't know why I think that way, but I do. But I think the thing that kept me liking Faith, I love an R&B diva who, of course, write and produce. I'm a big fan of Angela Winbush over here. And so when you have someone who does things like that, that really and truly makes me gravitate to you even more. And I look forward to, R&B divas such as Faith and Angela Winbush and everyone else like Kelly Price, all of them, when they not only are writing for themselves and producing for themselves, but they're doing it for other artists, because that gives me the opportunity to still like their music and their sound. And they're going to sound similar to the artists that they're writing and producing for, will still sound similar to their sound. So it's kind of like I get to like another artist just because that artist was produced by a singer-songwriter I enjoyed listening to. So yeah, it's really, really, really wonderful. I know love don't live here anymore. I really and truly say again, I like it or love it. Yeah. Wait a minute. Why? Don't hold me to that. Why? I don't know. It's been a while since I had the album. But why am I thinking that I'm going to have to find the album credits? Because didn't she better? I thought so. I knew it. I knew it. I was about to say it. Excuse me, didn't Mary J. Blige show up on that song? Why do I think something tell me Mary J. Blige is on some vocals? And I think it's Love Don't Live Here Anymore. Mary J. Blige is definitely singing on this record. But I don't know which song. I think it's Love Don't Live Here Anymore. But what I like about Love Don't Live Here Anymore, she definitely kept it sounding like the version that I like. I like my old school. So whenever a song stays like I like it in the diva can sing, which is the case for Faith Evans, and she didn't try to, do anything different vocally. She tried to capture the same vocals as the song, made me like her rendition of it even more. So yeah, good job, Faith Evans. Good job. Good job on the album, but again, I wasn't like just into the album. And of course, Miss Thing. I still welcome her, with open arms. Monica, before you walk out of my life is when I started saying, yep. Don't take it personal was cool. I like the don't take it personal. I do. But when she came out Before You Walk Out of My Life, and then she came out with Why I Love You So Much, I was like, yes, she is definitely, uh, um, an R&B diva. I flock to her for sure. And as I said before, I like her sound. I like her overall vocal sound. Usually I would get into, album credits as far as who did what and so on and so forth. I think she worked with um, um, Dallas Austin, correct? I think she worked with Dallas Austin. Ooh, I do believe she also did the SOS bands. Tell Me If You Still Care. So good for her. If I'm not mistaken, I think I like her version as well. Tell Me If You Still Care. So good for her. Good for her. Good for her. Yeah, definitely good for her. Great efforts overall in general. And if I'm not mistaken, and I think I am correct when I say the winner of the recipient of the award for R&B Soul Album of the Year female went to, of course, Mary J. Blige. Very surprising, isn't it, that she won over Mariah Carey? Now, I'm definitely shocked about that. But again, it could be what we would call R&B music. And at this moment in time, Mary J. Blige has, started to create enough clout for herself in the R&B genre where she could definitely command, the award. It's kind of like, well, yeah, she gets it. We can't have Mariah Carey beating out Mary J. Blige. And of course, she's still over there with Uptown, not Bad Boy, but Uptown. So I'm pretty sure Uptown definitely, promoted her to, the Soul Train Music Awards as a winner. I'm sure of that. Well, I don't like to keep these videos long. I don't like to go past the 30-minute mark. And we're around the 27-minute mark. And I think this is a wonderful time to pretty much say how much I appreciate you guys once again. So I want to say thank you so much for clicking that thumbnail over here at People Love View. I appreciate it. And if you got to the end of the video, then you know what I am about to say. Don't forget to put your behind where your heart desires to be. And whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says, son, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. And on that note, I look forward to seeing you next video. And until then, you all know what to do. Take care of yourselves out there. See you later.